Identify the fallacies of weak induction. Committed by the following arguments, giving a brief explanation for your answer. If no fallacy is committed, write no fallacy. 1. The Daily News carried an article this morning about 3 local teenagers who were arrested on charges of drug possession. Teenagers these days are nothing but a bunch of junkies. The answer is hasty generalization converse accident. 2. If a car breaks down on the freeway, a passing mechanic is not obligated to render emergency road service, for similar reasons. If a person suffers a heart attack on the street, a passing physician is not obligated to render emergency medical assistance. The answer is weak analogy. 3. There must be something to psychical research. 3 famous physicists, Oliver Lodge, James Jeans, and Arthur Stanley Eddington, took it seriously. The answer is appeal to unqualified authority. 4. The secretaries have asked us to provide lounge areas where they can spend their coffee breaks. This request will have to be refused if we give them lounge areas. Next they'll be asking for spas and swimming pools, then it will be racquetball courts, tennis courts, and fitness centers. Expenditures for these facilities will drive us into bankruptcy. The answer is slippery slope. 5. The accumulation of pressure in a society is similar to the buildup of pressure in a boiler. If the pressure in a boiler increases beyond a critical point, the boiler will explode. Accordingly, if a government represses its people beyond a certain point, the people will rise up in revolt. The answer is no fallacy. 6. A few minutes after Governor Harrison finished his speech on television, a devastating earthquake struck southern Alaska. For the safety of the people up there, it is imperative that Governor Harrison make no more speeches. The answer is false cause post hoc ergo propter hoc. 7. No one has ever been able to prove the existence of extrasensory perception. We must therefore conclude that extrasensory perception is a myth. The answer is appeal to ignorance. 8. Lester Brown, universally respected author of the yearly State of the World report, has said that the destruction of tropical rainforests is one of the 10 most serious worldwide problems. Thus, it must be the case that this is indeed a very serious problem. The answer is no fallacy. In this case, the stated authority is qualified. 9. George Clooney and Angelina Jolie give large sums of money to charitable causes every year. It must be the case that all movie stars give large amounts of money to charity every year. The answer is hasty generalization converse accident. 10. There is substantial evidence that units of the Chinese military hack into the computers of American technology companies to steal intellectual property and trade secrets. But Chinese Premier Li Keqiang denies that this happens. Therefore, given Mr. Li's intimate knowledge of the Chinese military, we must conclude that the Chinese military does not engage in hacking. The answer is appeal to unqualified authority. Almighty Nejad is either lying or deluding himself. 11. Probably no life exists on Venus. Teams of scientists have conducted exhaustive studies of the planet's surface and atmosphere, and no living organisms have been found. The answer is no fallacy. This is not an appeal to ignorance. The claim is not that some nameless nobody has failed to prove something, but that qualified experts have failed to find something. 12. We don't dare let the animal rights activists get their foot in the door. If they sell us on the idea that dogs, cats, and dolphins have rights, next it will be chickens and cows. That means no more chicken Kiev or beef Wellington. Next it will be worms and insects. This will lead to the decimation of our agricultural industry. The starvation of the human race will follow close behind. The answer is slippery slope. 13. No one should buy clothing at a department store without first trying it on. Accordingly, no one should buy food at a grocery store without first tasting it. The answer is weak analogy. The analogy is between trying on a pair of shoes and trying on one's fiancé. 14. No one has proved conclusively that America's nuclear power plants constitute a danger to people living in their immediate vicinity. Therefore, it is perfectly safe to continue to build nuclear power plants near large metropolitan centers. The answer is appeal to ignorance. 15. There are more churches in New York City than in any other city in the nation, and more crimes are committed in New York City than anywhere else. So, if we are to eliminate crime, we must abolish the churches. The answer is false cause non causa pro causa. Answer true or false to the following statements. 1. If an arguer cites a statement by a recognized expert in support of a conclusion, and the statement falls within the expert's range of expertise, then the arguer commits an appeal to unqualified authority. The answer is false. 2. If an arguer cites a statement in support of a conclusion and the statement reflects the strong bias of its author, then the arguer commits an appeal to unqualified authority. The answer is true. 3. In the appeal to ignorance, the arguer accuses the reader or listener of being ignorant. The answer is false. 4. If an attorney for the defense in an American or Canadian criminal trial argues that the prosecution has proved nothing beyond a reasonable doubt about the guilt of the defendant, then the attorney commits an appeal to ignorance. The answer is false. 5. Hasty generalization always proceeds from the particular to the general. The answer is true. 6. The post hoc ergo propter hoc variety of the false cause fallacy presumes that X causes Y merely because X happens before Y. The answer is true. 7. If an argument concludes that X causes Y simply because X and Y occur over the same time interval, then the argument commits the non-causa pro causa variety of the false cause fallacy. The answer is true. 8. If the conclusion of an argument depends on the occurrence of a chain reaction of events, and there is good reason to believe that the chain reaction will actually occur. The argument commits a slippery slope fallacy. The answer is false. 9. The fallacy of weak analogy always depends on an alleged similarity between two things or situations. The answer is true. 10. If an argument from analogy depends on a causal or systematic relationship between certain attributes, and there is good reason to believe that this relationship exists, then the argument commits no fallacy. The answer is true. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video, our channel. And thank you for watching this video.